Hello beautiful, welcome back to my channel and welcome to this video. We are going to talk about the holiday release from Nomad Cosmetics. They made these Zodiac palettes, and first I was like, Zodiac palettes in 2022? You're a tad late, but I will say there is a fun twist to these, so we'll talk about that in a bit. If you haven't been here before, if this is your first video here, hello, welcome to my channel. I love makeup, I love beauty, I love everything related to it, especially love things a little bit more colorful, which is definitely what we're gonna see today. Color and drama, that's what I enjoy. And if you want to see more of that, don't forget to subscribe because I upload at least 5 videos a week. This week is intense. So I did buy these palettes myself from the Sephora website when these were released. I love the Nomad Cosmetics quality, and I have been trying the Nomad Cosmetics holiday palettes since the Vida and Muerte palette, and I didn't really want to miss the opportunity to try these. I will say, these are $38 each, which I think is the most affordable melt palette we've ever had. These are 8 pan palettes, and they have the same pan size as the palette had last year, but that one had a bunch of shades and were a really expensive palette. Normally the 8 pan palettes from Melt are $48, I think, but like $10 more than these, but you get more product. But I'd rather pay less and get less product, I'm gonna be honest. The packaging actually looks and feels very sturdy and luxurious, and the details are really nice, and everything in here and your mirror, I cannot complain with the packaging at all. This is sturdy, heavy-duty cardboard with a soft touch and metallic finishes. Really nice quality. What I really like about this touch, I don't believe in Zodiacs. I don't care about Zodiacs. For me, Zodiacs is just like, it's another belief that I don't believe in. It's another belief that I just don't believe in, but I respect if you believe in it. I just don't myself. But I like their twist on this because this is the bad sides of Zodiacs. So this, for example, it says fire. In here it says, for the main character you think you are. Hilarious. And then it's like drama queen, too much, bossy, ego trip, hothead. It's like a lot of really fun ones, to be honest. If you do believe in this, it's like all the bad traits. I think I'm an air sign. Yeah, this one has Aquarius. This one, just from looking at them, is my favorite. And this one says, we'll wait while you overthink this, which is not me. I never overthink. I'm not an overthinker. I am a spontaneous, why are you taking so long? Let's just do this. I never overthink. So that is definitely not me. But it doesn't, like, indecisive. Not me. Not even a little bit. Reckless, yes, definitely. Flaky, absolutely not. Absolutely not. So, I mean, again, I don't believe in Zodiacs, but I think it's a fun twist. I think it's a fun twist in the whole thing, and I like that they're able to do something smaller and more like affordable for being Melt, because Melt is a high-end brand. Melt has the same prices as like NARS, for example, or Charlotte Tilbury maybe even. It's like, even though it's an indie brand, it is available at Sephora, and it is definitely not one of the affordable indie brands. This is an expensive indie brand. What I'm gonna do, because I'm actually filming this at night. I'm filming this, it is currently 15 minutes past 7 at night. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna do one look on each eye. We'll zoom in real close, and I'll do some swatches. But, oh, that's what I'll do. I will do exactly what I did in the palettes thing. I will pull the close-up and the swatches, and then we'll do an eye look, and then we'll do the next palette, close-up and swatches, and an eye look. And then at the end, we can discuss what I think about these, which one is my favorite. I will divide everything into chapters. You can find the timestamps either if you hover over the timeline in the video, or if you check the description box if you want to jump in between and see your favorite. So I think that's what we're gonna do. I am excited. I did buy this at Sephora. These are available now. I will put links to everything that I'm wearing on my face right now together with these palettes in the description box. My links and my codes are affiliated, so if you do end up shopping through my links or using my codes, thank you so much for supporting my channel. But that was enough chitter chatter about this. I'm gonna zoom in, and we'll start with the ones that I'm the least interested in, and we'll end with the one that I think I'm gonna like the most, and then at the end we can see if I was correct or not. Just from looking at them, this fire one is my least favorite because I thought in the promo pictures that this looked more poppy than it is. So we will see how I feel about it when we use it. I kind of want to start with, I also feel like these two oranges are very similar. Are they not very similar? But I'll start with the Too Much. We'll start with it and we will see. I'm just, maybe not that much. I was gonna say load up my brush, but like calm down. Usually Melt Mattes are really good, and I will say last year's holiday palette, yes, it was big, yes, it was expensive, but oh, the quality was so nice. Quality was so nice. Should I do an all matte look? Because I love all matte looks. Wait, let me scooch in. Maybe I'll do an all matte look because none of these shimmers really intrigue me, so let's do an all matte look on this side. I'm just gonna put this orange in the crease. I mean, that is a really nice orange. I was able to build it a little bit here and to blend it. I'll use the hothead now and we can see if that one builds. Because sometimes, usually Melt Mattes are incredible. Pigmented, blendable, buildable, just so lovely to work with. But every now and then they've had a couple of palettes where I don't feel like the mattes have been as good as they can be. So let's see what this one is. I'm just gonna put a little bit of red in the crease as well before we go in with the yellow. I kind of just wish that this palette had been even poppier. But that could also be me and what I like in like the reds and the oranges. I like something that's even more poppy. So I think that might be a personal preference. Let me see if I can do these on my lower lash line too. I do really like how that is looking. Let me see if I can clean off this brush a little bit and we can go in with the yellow. It's called Drama Queen, this one here. Just on the edges a little bit. I'm just sweeping this and see if we can warm this up. I feel like it's giving almost too much pigment, so maybe not. Abort. Let's do the Revenge color a little bit in the outer corner before we go in with the yellow and just see how much are we able to build these colors. Are we able to get some depth out here as well? And yeah, definitely. These are pigmented and blendable mattes. Maybe they're not as crazy like pigmented as some Melt Mattes have been, but that can also be a good thing if they're still buildable because it makes them a little bit more user friendly. Because some Melt Mattes have really been like crazy bananas. Crazy bananas back in the days. So I want to have some yellow now and I'm gonna take it on a flat brush like this. Yeah, this yellow is more of an almost yellowy orange on the eye. For my skin tone, this is more of a, like, it's pigmented, it's beautiful. I thought it was going to be more of a diffusing, blending out type of a color, but it's definitely not that on my skin tone. I mean, which is good though, because it means that this shade is going to show up on even more skin tones. But I mean, that is pretty cool, pretty intense, pretty cool. I like it. I really like it. Okay, let me finish this one up and I can have just a chat about how I feel about this first one. I mean, I can't deny that this is a really pretty eye look. I really love how it looks. I think the mattes are beautiful, but is it as vibrant as I thought it was gonna be? No, it's very like, if you want a mini, like, here's the thing. If you want a mini palette that's like red, oranges, and yellows and all those tones, but not like bright like primal red, maybe this could be for you. I would have preferred it to be more poppy. That's my style though. I like the brights, I like the drama, but it's a beautiful palette. Everything worked beautifully, but I just wish that it was a little bit more poppy. If you want this color scheme, but in a little bit more of a poppy way, in, let's be honest, equally as good formula and to a much lower price, I would recommend the Beach Cosmetics Optimistic AF. If I can find it, I will link it down below. That is what I was hoping this was going to be, if I'm gonna be totally honest. So why did I buy this one then, when I already have this color scheme in a equally as good formula but more affordable? Because I was buying the other three. But at least now you know what you can expect from this palette. Let's get into my second to last pick. So my second to last pick is actually the water one, and it's for the exact same reason. I think that these look very muted, but still, I love a dark blue. I can't be mad at the dark blue. It's impossible. So what I really would like to do is that I would like to do a very smoky eye with this one that's called Dead Inside, because like, look at how sexy that looks. We need to do something with that. And I mean, I understand this whole putting in browns with blues. They did the same thing with the Blueprint palette. I feel like this is just an updated, little, maybe bit more fun version of the Blueprint. This is not as bright as the Blueprint though, but I kind of like it. Even though at the same time, I wish that it was a little bit more poppy. But that's me again. So I'm going to do the dark one that's called Ugly Crying. This one is funny though. Stop crying. It's not that deep. Come on, it's funny. Even I, that don't believe in Zodiacs, think that's funny. So this is the Ugly Crying, and I'm just gonna, oh, that is a stunning color. I'm just gonna put that in my crease, and we're gonna blend it out with some of the lighter turquoisey colors. And also I will say, I prefer a true blue. I prefer a true blue over something that's turquoisey or teal. But again, that's my preference. I know a lot of people feel like turquoisey or tealy blues are easier to wear. I just prefer true sky blues. And I'm just putting this one on now. Just deepening out the outer corner with this one. And also in the crease here. So that we have something to blend that super dark color into. And now I'm gonna go into emo and then also trust issues. These like slightly lighter mattes, and I am just gonna see if we can build on the edge a bit. Sometimes I start with the lighter color, sometimes I start with the darker color. I do prefer start with the darker color when I know I'm making something that's very dramatic, which I kind of knew because I wanted to use that dark, almost black metallic on the lid. Again, I don't feel like any of these is like a blending out shade. Maybe I should have started with the lightest shade because these are intense and they are kind of just blending together to one and the same. Is it me? Is it me? I feel like it's me. Is it me or is it the shadows? Like, yes, blue eyeshadows are definitely harder to work with, but blue eyeshadows are also my favorites. I will say I'm fairly used to working with blue eyeshadows, but I'm not sold. I feel like I should have started with the lightest color because they seem to be very pigmented. I just don't love this blend, but I will say the blend looks better on camera than it does in real life, and it's usually the opposite. So this is the shadow Dead Inside. I was able to blend it out pretty good, and I put some under my eyes as well. I did spray this shadow because the last thing I need is to get too much fallout from this one all over my face, especially since I'm filming another 2 looks after this. That's not what I need in my life. This shadow is incredible. I can see myself reaching for this palette to maybe mix and match with other blues in my collection, just to be able to do this kind of a smoky look. Because that is stunning. That is absolutely breathtaking of a shadow. I love that. I love that. Wow. Okay, let's just cover up the other eye so you can see the beautifulness that actually is this smoky eye look. I really like how this looks, but I would have been able to do this with other things in my collection, like for sure. It's beautiful. The most unique thing is the dark blue metallic. Is it unique in my collection? Definitely not. The only thing that's like slightly unique is this dark one, and you could have done something similar to this with just blue matte and a black metallic, because it is so close to being a black metallic. It's beautiful, but again, I feel the same with this as I feel with this. I already own it in a better version. Do I own this exact color story in the palette? I don't know, but honestly, if I use the Blue Moon palette from Colourpop and matched it together with the black metallic from my palette with Oden's Eye, I'd probably get a similar look with the tone that I prefer, which is like a bright blue and not a teal. It's nice, but I'm not in love. So what do you think about these two looks? Which one is your favorite? I like both of them for different reasons. I definitely do. I think both of them are really fun, like I said, for different reasons. But I didn't need these two palettes to recreate them. Which makes me feel like, did I waste my money? I don't know. But let's get into the two palettes that I actually like the most. Now we're gonna do the Earth palette, which is so subculture, but hopefully in a better formula. I had the subculture in that first release that I am gonna die on that hill. Awful formula. Awful formula. Dusty, it was like baking powder. It did not build on itself. It was patchy and horrible. I heard they changed the formula and that they re-released it with, for some reason, not telling people. I heard that one was good, but I had the bad one. So if this one is good, I could be really interested in that. I love this like mucky, almost like a little swampy mustard. Fight me. Ooh, and I forgot eye primer. So let me put eye primer on just this side to begin with. I'm still using the Sigma primer stick. I always link everything that I'm using down in the description box in case you're wondering about anything, or in case you're wondering what shade I am or stuff like that. Check the description box for all the info, including my vlog channel, my merch, all of my affiliate codes. Everything is in the description box. But now we're doing Way Harsh, which is that swampy mustard. And I'm just gonna, what am I doing? I think I'm gonna see if I can use this all in my crease and then blend some of that dark green that's called Heart of Stone just in my outer corner, and then use the Overcritical, this one. I can use that one on the lid. I love green and yellow together. It's one of my favorite color combos. I think it is so pretty together. And this feels like a more muted, swampy option. And I can be about that life. This color, absolute dream. Absolute dream. I like this like more neutral row down here as well. Obviously, you could do something really cool with that. You almost have like a rose gold here. I do think that this is a very well-rounded palette, and I'm impressed with what I see with that palette. Let me see if I can get a good brush and we can get that Heart of Stone going. So, oof, that is pretty. This one picks up a lot on the brush. So we are gonna, can you see anything? We're gonna put that in the outer corner. And we're gonna see if it's possible to blend this out. It's gonna be interesting. I'm not gonna put it in here. I'm just gonna keep it out here. And I am gonna make sure that the outer corner is really deep. But then I'm gonna see if I can just fade it into the yellow in a way that's not too weird. Although I don't hate that. I mean, we're gonna have a shimmer here as well. I don't hate how that looks. Let me go in with a little bit more of the yellow. I'm gonna do the exact same thing on my lower lash line. I'm starting with this yellow. And then I'm gonna put the green out here. I feel like that's gonna be really good. That looks so cool already. I am really, really liking that. So far, this is by far my favorite. Look, don't mess this up. Look at how cool that looks. Look at how cool that looks. I mean, don't mind this. We're gonna cover. I never blend where I know I'm gonna cover up with metallics. Why would I do that? Why would I spend time blending something that I know I'm gonna cover up? Listen, time is valuable. Don't spend it doing stuff that doesn't matter. So this is the overcritical, and I am gonna spray it. Oh my god, sprayed way past the brush because I want this to be as opaque as possible. Ooh, what a nice... This is like so yellow that it's like, is it even a gold? Okay, I really like this one. Really like this palette. Really like this look. This is giving me something that is inspirational, that is different. I don't own the subculture either. Maybe if you own it, you don't think that this is as unique. But to me, I do not own the subculture. So for me, I am appreciating what this one is bringing. I'm just putting some of the green on the edge to like soften this one up. I like blending the matte over the edge of the shimmer. It usually softens everything up and just makes everything make a little bit more sense, because especially when it's a gold going into green, I don't want it to look too weird. But wow, the way that I love this look. So beautiful. So beautiful. I'm gonna put some yellow in my waterline. I'm gonna finish this up and we can zoom out and have a closer look. Have a zoomed out look. You know, Monet-esque. The way I love this look. Oh, I love this look. It is giving me one of my favorite color combos, green and yellow, but grungy and fall-esque, and I really like it. I mean, I've only used 3 colors in this palette, but I was able to create this look with only 3 colors, and I feel like that says something. Yeah, I feel like I made a good choice putting them in the order that I did when I was like initially looking at them before swatching them, how I thought that they were going to be the most interesting, because I love this one. I mean, you can tell I'm just looking in the viewfinder. I can't stop looking at how pretty this look is. Absolutely love it. I rarely do the same look twice, but I could see myself doing this look again just to wear it out and about, because again, it is 8:30 now. I did put a little bit of the yellow in the corner as well, but this one is winner. This one is winner. Okay, let's get into the 4th and final palette, which I think, just based on the color story, is gonna be my favorite. I think that this one has the most cohesive color story, because it's like Well, except the earth one maybe, but like I just really like how this looks. Plus it has a really light color here, and this is the only palette that has a light color, and this is a pink duochrome, like an iridescent shade. So what do I want to do? Do we want to do pink then, or do we want to do the peach, or do we want to do the purple? This is a lot. I feel like we want to do the purple. It's called Chismosa. Again, this is supposed to be my palette. I don't even know what Chismosa is. If you know, let me know. Since this one has a iridescent topper shade, maybe we should do a halo eye. Because then we've done a couple of different techniques as well. Maybe you got a little bit of inspiration. Maybe not. I don't know, but I want to share not only color combos, and I want my reviews to give you something even if you're not planning on buying. Maybe it's a color combo that you didn't think of. Maybe it's a technique that you haven't tried yet. I'm not a pro, but I want to inspire you to try something new. And also, maybe it can be inspiring that I didn't go to makeup school, but I still feel like with time, I got to be pretty okay at makeup. At least in my somewhat humble opinion. So I'm just putting this purple shadow at the side. And I'm just gonna, without any additional product, I'm just softening a little bit on the edge. I guess I'm gonna use a little bit of the pink or something afterwards. But first I think I'm gonna see if I can deepen it up with this one called Mind Games. And I'm putting that in the absolute inner part of the crease here, just to create a little drama. And the same here, in the absolute outer corner and the outer part of the crease. Oh, I'm really loving how that's looking. That's looking really nice. We can't argue that. Wow, that is really nice. Let me see if I can buff a little bit more purple here so I don't make it too dark. Okay, so let me with a clean brush do this indecisive, and I'll buff that on the edges just to soften it a little bit. Since these shadows have all been pretty pigmented, I'm trying to be as light as possible. I like to keep my halo eyes open and not put any matte shadows, at least not any dark matte shadows in the crease. But I think that you can play around with techniques and find something that you like. That's just something that I like. You can see I'm just warming up the edges a little bit with some of that pink. I'm gonna see if I can do the same shades on my lower lash line too, but I'm not gonna leave a gap like this because I don't like it as much on my lower lashes as I do on my upper lashes. So this is the shade Reckless, the one in the corner, and I think this is a really nice iridescent shade just based on what I see in the pan, because like I said, when I'm doing these looks, I have not swatched these. So I'm gonna spray my shade like you saw, and I'm putting that in the middle. Spraying an iridescent shade is gonna make it extra opaque, which can be really nice when you want it to really show up. Just using your finger works as well. And since this has a little bit of a transparent base, I am gonna be able to layer this one. Now I'm just packing it on in the middle, and then I'm bringing on a bit more without spraying the brush, just some of the like dry shadow, and I'm putting that on the edge, and because it has a transparent base, it is gonna let some of the purple shine through, and it's gonna give this amazing almost 3D effect when it goes from light to dark, shimmer to matte. I hope the focus has not been totally messed up. Maybe I'll actually use some of that in my inner corners too. Sometimes I put an inner corner highlight when I'm doing halo eyes, sometimes I don't. But yeah, that looks absolutely incredible. It is a little bit like, if you know the stacks from Melt and if you know the palettes, they never did a palette with Baby Girl. But this is like she's in parties and baby girl had a baby and it was leaning a little bit more on the purple side. That is the look with the last palette, the Air Palette, and I love the look. It's been so long. I feel like I don't do halo eyes enough, but it's so pretty once you get it on. I mean, I like both looks so much. This is so me though. I love it so much more than I thought I would. But I love the color story of this palette. I feel like it has so much versatility. What do you think? I still stand by that I think that this palette has the best color story, but I think I like this look the most out of the looks that I did. Let me know what you think about these palettes. My final thoughts about these will be that these are nice. These are nice palettes. These are good quality melt palettes. I didn't have any problems with any of them. I will say that these three palettes for me lack something that's just a little bit lighter. But that's just how I do my makeup. I like to have one shade that's just light enough to highlight with, to blend out with, to buff the edges with. But that has just shown to be my style of makeup throughout the years that I've been doing makeup. Does that mean that these palettes are incomplete? No, it's just that I probably, next time I use these, will bring in something else to complement the looks. This one I feel is more well-rounded because it has something really dark, it has something really light, it has shimmers, it has mattes, it has different directions that you can go with this palette. I think that this is the most well-rounded palette. And then I think this one. This color story is just really good, and there are different directions you can go with this palette. The other two are meh. The other two are meh, and had I not been a makeup reviewing channel, these two, I wouldn't have gotten them, if I'm gonna be honest. Had I not been a makeup reviewing channel, and I will say, if you're gonna pick up any of these, don't pick up all of them, pick one of these two. Those are the best two. That's gonna be my review on these palettes. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you picked up any of these palettes. If you want to see some more details about what I used and all of that, the things that I talked about, it's gonna be in the description box down below. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you again real soon for a new video. Bye!